We didn't know.
We didn't know.
Just in case, we didn't call each other America. This is just really good. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, too.
I've been a fan for like many years.
Oh, wow. Well.
I really have been. They're very different shows. When I started with you, I think it was Friday Night Lights. But your co-star Josh was supposed to be here. He's not feeling well, but we were super stoked that you got to come because I love the show.
Girl time.
Yeah, but you shot this. It's based in Texas, but you shot in New Mexico.
Correct.
What, near where you grew up?
Yeah.
How's that?
It was quite beautiful, actually. It was a really surreal and sort of special way to put a sort of a bow on that whole experience. Yeah. It was my entire career. I didn't have to shoot in Albuquerque, and then I released this book that sort of makes peace with that whole experience, and then suddenly I'm gonna live there for 6 months shooting a new show.
Actually, I want to get to that because you wrote an emotional post to your childhood self after filming in the town you grew up in, and part of it said, hey, Mink, guess what? In about 20 or so years, everything is gonna be okay, more than okay. You're gonna feel safe enough to finally let your guards down. I think a lot of people relate to that. So yeah, thank you for being so vulnerable about it.
I mean, I guess it just takes time, right? Like time away from the thing to take sort of like alleviate the power of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I had gone back a couple of times with a best friend of mine who's also from Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So she sort of held my hand. Sort of before I wrote the book, I wanted to go back and see these places, and that was when it was super emotional to go back, which was why I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm gonna live in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
It's far enough away.
Yeah. I love Santa Fe.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful, so much art, so much beauty.
Good food.
Yeah. Oh, the food. There's nothing like New Mexico
sunsets. Yeah,
food.
that's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I mentioned that you also wrote a book about your life. I heard you say it's kind of an ode to single mamas, right?
Totally.
I grew up with a single mama as well. And I think, do you see birds now? Is that where you kind of see your mom?
Yeah.
A lot of people do that with people that
Well, you had a flamingo in your dressing room, which today's a big day, and I always think of how will she show up?
Yeah.
And, now I'm here without my co-star, and, there's nerves, of course.
Yeah.
But there's things like that. You walk in, and then you see the flamingo. And,
a little sign that puts you at peace.
Yeah.
But I heard that you're into, I think people call it like forest bathing now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah, you're into that?
Oh, God, yes.
It sounds like, very like hippy-dippy, but it feels so good to just get out there and just be.
Yeah. There's hippy-dippy, it's like there's some truth to this stuff, and we can make fun of it, and but I mean, I also didn't know. I accidentally stumbled upon it. I was going through a really tough time. I was living in Vancouver at the time, and I just found Stanley Park, which is the most beautiful rainforest in Vancouver, and I would just go there every morning before work for a couple hours with my dog, and I just was so drawn to being, like, I'd go off the path and into the forest, and sometimes even take my shoes off because I just
it feels
felt
good.
so much connection, and you just feel like a big warm hug from these trees. And I remember telling my dad about, I just feel like these trees are hugging me. I don't know, but I just have to be here for hours at a time. And my dad thought I was woo-woo or whatever it was.
He was like, what are you on?
And then he came to visit me, and I brought him to that very place, and he was like, I get it.
No, I've performed barefoot forever, and there's something about feeling like ground beneath you.
Yeah.
And especially when you're out like on the land. Like now in Texas, I grew up, there were stickers everywhere, so you didn't do that. Let's get to some commercials though. As always, we have someone to help us out.
Hi, Kelly and Minka. I'm Tiffany, and I'm probably one of the biggest romance novel fans you have ever met. I've quite literally read over 5,000 romance books in my life, and I even host a book club on my podcast where we talk about them. And Ransom Canyon is definitely next on the list. I saw the trailer, girl, and it's delicious. So don't go away. Kelly has more with Minka after this.
We're back with Minka Kelly. That was a look at her show, Ransom Canyon. You can see it on Netflix. I'm gonna get to it. I've been telling you in the commercial break, I'm so upset about a few things, but I love it. But explain to everybody a little bit about the show.
It's a family drama about a bunch of different generations of characters that are all sort of finding their purpose, and it's about second chances, and it's about a lot of us coming into our own and into our own power, and in particular, my character is coming into her own power, finding her confidence and her self-esteem, and recognizing dysfunctional patterns in relationships and learning when to step out of said pattern.
I need her to recognize, okay? I need her to recognize. I'm watching this like, I am like, run! No, but there is this thing that's so relatable about it because no matter how much you love someone, it's not enough.
But I mean, how relatable and how fun is it to watch, you know, stories that, I mean, I've dated that, I've been in that scenario. I've tried to love someone or save someone or, you know, you sort of learn the hard way. You're gonna bash your head against the wall with someone enough times until you finally realize enough is enough.
Yeah. One relationship I love on the show, it isn't running anything, but it's you and Ellie.
Yeah.
I love that relationship.
Yeah. Good,
Like,
me
what a
too.
great support system and a representation of what friendship should look like. I love that relationship.
Me too. I was so excited to see this female relationship where we're not pitted against each other. We're not in competition with each other. We're not backstabbing.
But you call each other out like a good friend, like not in a bad way. That's what I thought it was a real
very
relationship.
loving way. Yeah. That's real love.
I know, I loved that as well. Do you actually play piano? Because if you don't, you are the best actress in all of the lands. Because you were playing, and I was like, is she really playing that? Like,
some of it, not all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked really hard to learn as much as I could. I had, my partner reads me, so he would translate music and show me how to play. And then I had a piano teacher in Albuquerque also helping me. So, and I would just practice for hours at a time until I memorized. So I learned by memory because I can't read music quite yet, but I can learn by memory.
a lot of people do. A lot of musicians can't, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, a fair
I
amount.
feel like all you guys.
No, a fair amount can't read. They do it by feeling and and I think that that's very normal. So what surprised me is I'm watching the show and I'm so invested, and all of a sudden I was like, is that Dan Reynolds? And I had no idea that y'all were together, first of all, because I'm not ever online. And then I Googled because I was like, is he in the show? And then it popped up that y'all were together, and I had no idea.
Good.
I love him.
That's by design.
He is so good in
really
it.
flaunt it. It's
I know,
okay.
but he's so good live too, though, and I just love. You seem like such a beautiful spirit. He's such a kind guy. I've run into him a couple times. This is a real question. Do you know if there's another season? Because I need to know if there's another season.
I need to know too.
Okay, I'm gonna be so mad, like, because I really want to know what happens. The end happened, and I was like, no, because you've got to watch the show. It's so good.
Thanks, Kelly.
I'm very much a fan of it, y'all. We're gonna take a quick break, though. Be sure to check out Ransom Canyon on Netflix.